afternoon, everybody. I'm your host, Coslita, and the topic of the day is immigration. Lots of people immigrated to America because of famine, overpopulation, religion persecution, war, and lack of opportunity. Families would spend their life savings to let the youngest come to America. It wasn't easy for them to sail to America either. Lots of people who made it to would die from diseases and be tossed overboard. There were more than 12 million immigrants who made it to Ellis Island. Ellis Island was open for immigrants from 1892 to 1954. There, they would check for diseases people brought over, name people, and send them into America to live a happy life. Immigrants would live in small towns with people that believed in the same religion. Today we have a real immigrant from Livorno, Italy, to tell us his story about how he made it to America. This is Marco Rossi.
Thank you, Cole. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Alright, Marco, my first question is, why did you come to America?
Well, thank you, Cole. My family in Italy was very poor. And as such, my family saved up all their money and they bought a ticket for me on the Carpathia, which left Italy and set sail for New York City. And the reasoning was that they wanted to give me a better life and give me better opportunities.
Cool. How was sailing on the trip?
Sailing on the ship was very treacherous. The ship itself was very cramped, it was dirty, it was noisy, there was no bathrooms. I wasn't with anyone of my family, so I was alone. And it was a very arduous journey. It was the worst experience of my life.
Alright. When you arrived at Ellis Island, did you speak English? Tell me everything that happened.
When we arrived at Ellis Island, I did not speak English, I spoke Italian. Everyone on my ship was pretty much from Italy as well. First thing they did is they stuck us all in a very long line where they checked our eyes and our hair. They gave us a health screening. They put us in another line where we eventually got to the front and the person was asking me questions. I had no idea what they were saying. They asked me my name, I didn't make that out. They also asked me where I was from. Once I was through that, they put us in another line where they finally took us to New York City.
Did they change your name? I heard that was common.
It was fairly common. However, I was able to keep my name. I was a part of the Rossi family from in Italy, and I stayed at Rossi when we arrived in New York.
Cool. One of the biggest questions I have is, how was your house? Did you live with anyone? How were the conditions?
The conditions were terrible. My first place of living was a tenement in New York City. Those are illegal apartments, very small, very cramped. Again, a lot of people located in one building. A lot of diseases floating around, no bathrooms. The worst times in those buildings was in the summertime when it was hot, it was humid. There was no air conditioning. In fact, most of us tried to sleep outside when we could, just to get some fresh air.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Well, when I arrived in New York City, I'm a Catholic, and most of us from Italy are Catholics. We were not liked when we got here, so we did face a lot of turmoil from that. My first job, I arrived when I was 12 years old. My first job, I worked in a factory. I worked in a factory for a number of years, made 2 cents a day. I was able to save up my money and bring over the rest of my family, but it was not a great job, but I was able to save enough, and we all lived a great life.
Well, thank you, Marco. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow.